I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. St. Jude is so near and dear to my family's heart, and we feel honored and privileged to be able to share our story with you today. By sitting here in this room, you are making a difference on behalf of a child who is literally at this moment fighting for their life. A little over a year ago, when a doctor uttered the news that my baby Michael had cancer, Mike and I were, as you can imagine, absolutely devastated. We were terrified, overwhelmed, and felt as though our hearts had been shattered into a million pieces. I've never in my life felt so out of control. As parents, I knew the one thing that we did have control over was finding the best possible care in the world for our son Michael. What that meant for our family was finding the most up-to-date and effective procedures and treatment for neuroblastoma. Our search no doubtedly brought us to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. I will never forget walking through the doors of St. Jude the evening we arrived. In the days following the diagnosis, up until that point, I felt so hollow inside. It was hard to breathe, let alone speak. And as I walked through the brightly decorated hallway, I remember being totally overcome by an overwhelming feeling of hope. Maybe it was my guardian angel whispering in my ear, or the magnificence of the child-friendly ambiance of the hospital, but I suddenly knew and had faith that everything was going to be okay, that Michael was going to be okay. After we met with Michael's team of doctors and formed a plan of action, I remember trying to pinpoint an unfamiliar emotion that I was feeling inside. It was relief. Our desperation had turned to determination, and we knew we had an extremely tough road ahead of us, but we knew we were exactly where we were meant to be. When our incredibly supportive family and friends visited, our absolute favorite activity was giving them the tour of the hospital. We have such an overwhelming feeling of pride and happiness when showing off our home away from home. It wasn't just because of the visually spectacular playrooms, aquariums, artwork, or the amazing evidence of the attention to detail in every inch of the hospital. What I love best is that I could see the all-encompassing feeling of hope that overcame me the first evening that I walked through those doors, passed on to those that I love the most. I could see in their eyes that they suddenly knew, as I did, that everything was going to be okay. This is the miracle of St. Jude. The gift of hope and powerful inspiration passed on when you know the love that is St. Jude. I have heard many words and phrases used to describe St. Jude. Pure hope, miracle factory, and God's home, to name a few. For me, St. Jude became known to me as family in our home. Michael formed lasting bonds with his doctors, nurses, fellow patients, and various staff members, and often fought to stay and play at the hospital far after long days of appointments and treatments. Mike and I learned from and built friendships with other parents who understand the agony that stems from your child's life being threatened. My daughter, Ellie, learned to take her first steps in the hallways of St. Jude as Michael's doctors, nurses, and friends cheer her on. St. Jude taught us that it doesn't matter how far you travel, because home is wherever you are surrounded by love, family, and those that care for you. We've all been continually awestruck by our little warrior Michael throughout this past year. He has fought his battle valiantly and with such dignity and grace, and Mike, Ellie, and I could not possibly be more proud of him. We feel so blessed that as a result of your support for St. Jude, along with faith and prayer, we will all have the pleasure of witnessing Michael grow to be an exceptional man. He's going to live his long life fearlessly with the confidence that he can and will overcome all obstacles that he faces. I believe he will see the world through the eyes of a survivor, and that these will be just a few of the many gifts that God gives us through this situation if we just put it in his hands, trust in our faith, and leave the rest to St. Jude. As we approach our upcoming scans, we have total faith and truly believe that God and St. Jude Hospital have brought our baby back to health and saved his life. All we can do is hope and believe, but what I can assure you of indefinitely is that regardless of the outcome of the results, as long as people like yourselves are willing to open your hearts and provide the resources, St. Jude will never stop researching and fighting for a cure, so that no child shall ever have to suffer at the mercy of this horrible disease. Please continue to pray for Michael, and thank you for standing beside us in battle. We are forever grateful for your support. And as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So here is a brief video of our amazing Michael.